What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 6 different crypto mining stocks today. We're going to be talking about Marathon, IREN, Clean Spark, Riot, Wolf, and BTBT. 6 different stocks for 3 different requesters: Cow, Unlawful Law, and Flower Child. We're doing these for you. So hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And forgive me, my voice has gone a little bit, so it is what it is. But you can hear me, so at least I hope you can hear me. And on that note, I might even actually turn up the volume just a little bit there for you. So yeah, let's get going here. So because I listened to a video recently, and I thought it was loud enough, but I thought it could have been a little louder. So hopefully the volume that I just set it to, hopefully that's not too distracting or too loud for anybody. Didn't blow anybody's eardrums out. From a relative high to a relative low, consolidating beneath the 618 golden ratio zone. I would expect that inevitably you will see a breakout to the upside. We're just waiting on it. When will it happen? I don't know. But your next move, genuinely, my expectation would be somewhere between about $41 to $56. Absolutely, that's where I think you're going to go. And probably by the end of the year, probably over the next couple months or so, is my thoughts for Marathon. Moving up, yes, slow but steady. Not a whole lot to get excited over just yet, but it is nice to see a little bit of upside, right? High to low. I mean, overall, it's downside. Yeah, you're looking productive. You probably turn around soon and start moving up higher. The past few days, you've moved down. I think you're going to move up, yeah. Maybe to finish this week, maybe tomorrow and the next day you move up. If not, whatever. Maybe you move down to $16 and then you move up. But tomato, whether you move down a little bit and then up or you're moving up, you're going to move up soon enough. So I'm calling my next call for this thing would be to move up to around $20 to $25, somewhere in that zone. You break above $30, let's talk about it for real. IREN, Iris Energy, looking like it has found a low in a key area to find a low right down here. However, it could go lower. It might. Maybe it does go just a little bit lower than that. It still could and still be fine. You'd have like a slightly lower low, yet an overall higher low. That really could happen. You did that kind of here. You found a slightly lower low than this low back here, right? Just oh so slightly. After having a positive reaction, right? So Iron just doing the same thing. It's just chilling, waiting to move up to its next level. Will that happen after it goes down? Will it happen? Well, will it just move up from here? Whatever. It's going to move up inevitably. I think that next target area, it's at 742. The next target area would come in at around $20 or higher, $20 to $28, $29. Let's say 17 and a half. You'll probably move up to I would think 23 to 28 and a half actually, because being right in the midst here and not hitting your extended area, but stopping short because of this, I could see that happening. But I think that's what this was already. So I do think, and I don't think you just stop at the 1272, just above this range. I think you would go 23 to 28.50, somewhere around there. That's your next move over the weeks, over the months to come, right? Daily RSI would suggest you go lower, so probably lower first. Let's see, in rejecting that 382 like that, generally, the way this looks, I would call for an extension, 545 to 479. And to be fair, I mean, I bet you could, and it would still be fine. Let's see. Let's actually look at this. That was not what I wanted to draw. That actually does kind of line up pretty well, oddly enough. Doesn't it? Lines up pretty well. So that would put you out of reach of this line here, and certainly if you did that, that would as well. So I don't know. You could go to 545 or lower. You could. 545 to 480. It's possible. I'm not calling for that. If you do, that's fine. That'll probably be where you bottom out at. But for now, let's just call for prices to go between like 675 and 575, something like that. Lower is what I think. IREN, it's a big range, 675 to 575, but it's the range we've got. Clean Spark. Clean Spark also looks like it wants to move lower, and maybe it does. I really do like its closing support, and by the way, it would be this week here, right? That's the lowest weekly close. We've got lower weekly opens, and if we close this week here or lower, obviously this would be the lowest weekly close. But out of this whole range, that's the line for the lowest weekly close. I know it might look weird, but just trust me, I know how to read a chart. If you don't and it looks weird, that's because you don't know how to read a chart, and that's fine. But if you do know how to read a chart, you should be able to see, right? Obviously, I feel like I'm talking to a wall here, but very obviously, that is your lowest weekly close. I know it looks like a weekly closing high because it's a green week, but don't let your brain trick you, right? That's the lowest weekly close there. Finding support, which is what that is, closing there, finding support at this previous area of weekly closing resistance, closing support, closing resistance in the same area. I like that. I like this week as a low, right? You opened up the week so low, came down so quick, and then spent most of the week, if not the whole week, coming back up to close back in this very key area of resistance, which potentially could now be support. So that gives me the impression, or the idea at least, that this week might come back a little bit. The goal, I suppose, would be to close above 1146. You're at 1068 right now. The goal is to close above 1146. Based on the daily look, I don't know if you're going to meet that goal. I would think you go lower, actually, based on the daily look. That's just the goal for the weekly. But for the daily, if we're being realistic with ourselves, looking at it for what it is, I think you could move down to around, like, you're at 1068, so 10 cents lower. Maybe all the way down to 968, like literally a whole dollar lower, something like that. It's probably in the cards. Let's see how it happens, though. Because if to close the week, you come up and close above this line on Friday, and then next week you come down, that'd be great. That would look so perfect for the weekly perspective. But I'm not expecting anything crazy. A little bit of downside, and then inevitably some upside. Just consolidating, right? Consolidating up here still. You obviously you broke out of this consolidation range. You actually back tested the support area for resistance potentially. I guess not technically. Soon enough you'll have some upside. It looks like it's, in this uptrend. Pretty well established uptrend. I don't know. It's not that clean actually, is it? That's not clean at all. With this perspective, you could actually go even lower, all the way down to 730. You could. You really could go all the way down here. Just like with IREN, it could go lower, but I don't know if you're going to. Right now, I'm calling for a higher low, just a little bit lower, maybe $1 lower than you are now, 10 cents lower than you are now, something like that, and then up. But patience, because eventually I could see CleanSpark being above $40 by the end of this year. It's at 1068 now, as crazy as that sounds, but I really could see that happening. Riot. Why can you see that happening? You gave us reasons for everything else. Okay, from a high to a low, minimum target's 32, maximum target's 45. I said $40, somewhere in between, right? That's why. So CleanSpark. And then if that's not enough too, you're like, okay, you just showed me some lines. Take this relative high, take this relative low. You peaked off at your 200 area. First, your 1414. First right there, but inevitably your 200 area. Okay. Next discernible high to your next discernible low went up to your 1618, right there, right above it. Next discernible high to your next discernible low, you went up to your 1618, right above it for quite some time. So if we take the next discernible high to the next discernible low, if this is the low, and I think it is, but if it's not, cool, it goes lower, these numbers will only get larger. They'll only go up higher as this moves down, right? You see that? They only move up higher. So if that is the low, $32, $45, somewhere in that zone, right? That's what I'm thinking. Riot platforms here. Riot chilling. It's down 10% this week, chilling after a tumultuous week, 23.5% down at the end of July there. Just nuts, man. Absolutely nuts. I don't like the weekly RSI. I'm not a fan of the daily RSI, so lower. I actually do think you're going lower. Man, this makes me think maybe IREN, CleanSpark, and Riot, maybe they are about to see new relative lows compared to what they started with this month. I don't know. I like, it's hard to say. You really could find support right in this area. Like just a little bit lower. I mean, that could have been it. That really could have been it, but I'm going to call for it. I'm going to call not for lower prices, but 740 to 752, somewhere in that zone, which you've already kind of interacted with. You might be turning up here soon. We'll see. Time will tell. But I would expect just from the look of it on multiple time frames, you're moving a little bit lower. I'm not calling for 692 to 651. Those are the lower targets if you hit them, but and it potentially even lower than that actually. But for now, let's just stick with 752 to 739, somewhere in that zone. Riot. Wolf. Terra Wolf. Moving down, moving lower. Perfect. Yes. 381. Let's call for $3.81. Yeah, I like it. 380. 380 to 385, somewhere in that zone. That's where I think Wolf's moving down to. If you move lower, cool. Like if you're going to make a lower low than this, cool. We'll figure that out. But for now, I'm not calling for that. I am calling for a higher low right around here, and then up. That's my thoughts. But that could change. Perhaps you are going lower, but we'll see. We'll know whenever the time comes. I'm sure we'll talk about this before it's below this low, if it does go there. Unless it just happens in a day, then in which case I guess not. But up after down. That's my thoughts. BT. Bit digital. It's a bit digital. Looking very similar to Wolf, actually, from a high point to a low point. That's a deeper retracement, though. Yeah, 786. Same kind of conclusion, down to the 382. That's my thoughts. Fill this gap. You're already kind of filling it now. You could find support at 317. You really could. But it's either there or 394. Or sorry, 294. 317, 294, that's your zone. Find support, move up. That's my thoughts. And that's it, guys. If you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.